Take me through the training sessions that you guys had together. What were the exercises you focused on? What kind of exercises do you like to program? What did that look like?
Well, overall, I stick to my what I know works for me, and that is normally a 3 or 4 day split, which means that you target certain muscle groups certain days, and in 4 days you work through the whole body. We're talking heavy strength training, free weights, some isolated movements as well, and on top of that, a lot of mobility and stability work for shoulders and hips. You know, this is a Viking who's running around, jumping, swinging an axe, so
yeah,
you got to make sure that you prepare him for that. And it's a regular session or a normal session is around 60 minutes. I never like to go more than 60 minutes in the gym. So 5-6 days a week, doing prep 6 days a week while filming 5 days a week.
Absolutely. You mentioned nutrition. Can you talk about kind of the food guide that you had Alex follow and what the nutrition looks like?
Normally when doing a transformation like this, there's 3 cycles you go through with both training and nutrition. It's the build-up phase, when you want to build as much muscle mass as possible and don't care about the fat so much. That's when you overeat calories a little bit. And then you have the cutting cycle, when you're in a calorie deficit, you eat less fuel than what you're getting rid of. And that's when you want to maintain all that muscle mass and, lose some body fat. And then you have the maintenance cycle, which is when you're filming. That's when you really want to dial it in and make sure that you keep that low body fat and high muscle mass. The foods are more or less the same. During a cutting cycle, you were not eating any fast carbs or sugar. During the build-up phase, it's a little less strict. I'm making sure that he eats at least X amount of grams of protein and carbs and fat every day. And while filming the maintenance cycle, that's also pretty strict, but there's also room there to enjoy life a little bit. We took the weekends off and had a glass of wine and cooked dinner. And this was during the pandemic, so we were stuck in a house together. So we needed to, come up with stuff to do. So the weekends were football on the TV, ice bath, or going to the ocean to swim, and then we'll just cook food.
I'm wondering, when you're approaching training somebody like Alex, who's already in pretty good shape to begin with, what do you do to kind of take his physique up to the next level?
It's always the same formula. It's eating enough, looking at the nutrition, making sure you dial in the nutrition, and then strength training and making sure that you're pushing someone as much as they need. And with Alex, it's easy because he's a hard worker, never complains. I got to make sure that every single set's hard. That's the easiest way of putting it.
How does he feel about the results? Do you think he's going to maintain this as he goes on, even now that the movie's over? How does he feel?
No, he's back to burgers and beer. It's the second time he's doing it. And as you said before, he's in good shape, even when not doing something like this. I think it's not worth it, to the amount of work it takes to stay in this shape. That's number one. And number two, as an actor, I do think that you got to be careful to be stuck in a genre, right? You don't want to walk around and looking like that all the time. That means before you know it, that's all he's getting casted for, right?
For people out there who might find this process of transforming your body to be intimidating, or who might look at the programming and say, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, what's the answer to that?
It starts with one step. It starts with following the program. Just trust the process. You don't have to be scared of something that's going to make you healthier and look better. And I assume if you're interested in the program, that means you actually want a change from where you are now. So I always say start a little slower. Don't be too hard on yourself. When it comes to training, nutrition, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't start too extreme. Maybe start with 3 days a week and then ramp it up. Trust the process. If they want to do a program, one of my programs, especially this Northman program, just know that it is for everyone. It works, and just show up.
Do you have any memories of being on set with Alex or training him that you really look back on, you're like, yeah, that's why I do this?
Yes, many. On the Northman and every project I do, it's always when you get to set and it's the first time when the shirt comes off, when you see your client filming something physical. So I had the same thing on Tarzan. I actually had tears in my eyes the first time it took his shirt. It sounds strange, but there's so much pressure, so much work. You've been working so hard, and you do not know if you hit the mark. It's impossible to tell until you're there. The right lights, they're in that element, and so that is always a special thing, and that's the most emotional thing for me. That's the first time I can tell if we did it or not.